On Global TV News Prime, President Tinubu sacks 5 ministers, appoints 7 others. And Business International Monetary Fund says Naira showing signs of stability. On the foreign scene, World Health Organization says intense bombardment stops Gaza polio vaccinations. And in sports, Kano appoints Musa as sports ambassador. Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Prime on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Uyi Agumofwegbe. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV, channel 365 and free to air all night comes out. Tonight, we'll begin by telling you President Bola Tinubu has dismissed 5 ministers from his cabinet. This was contained in a statement by Special Advisor to the President on social media, Dada Olusegun. The affected ministers are Minister of Women Affairs, Barrister Uju Ken Ohaneye, Minister of Tourism, Lola Adejan, Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Maman, Minister of State for Housing and Urban Development, Abdullahi Muhammad Gwarzo, and Minister of Youth Development, Dr. Jamila Bio Ibrahim. President Bola Tinubu and the Federal Executive Council have announced the scrapping of the Niger Delta Ministry and Ministry of Sports Development. According to a tweet by the Special Advisor on Information and Strategy to the President, Bayo Onanuga, the decision was reached during the FEC meeting held in Abuja. The statement says President Tinubu and Federal Executive Council meetings scrapped the Niger Delta Ministry and Ministry of Sports Development. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has appointed 7 new ministers to his cabinet. The appointment was announced in a statement issued by the presidency following the Federal Executive Council meeting. Bianca Odumegu Ojukwu was appointed as Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, while Jumoke Odowale was named Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment. 5 other individuals were also appointed as new ministers. President Bola Tinubu has sworn in Dr. Abdullahi Usman Bello as the new chairman of the Code of Conduct Bureau, CCB. The brief ceremony took place ahead of the Federal Executive Council meeting, which was also chaired by President Sharon Ajay has details.
After the swearing-in, Dr. Bello spoke to State House correspondents, pledging to tackle corruption through the Bureau. He emphasized the importance of integrity and accountability among public officials, vowing to uphold the agency's mandate. He acknowledged the global nature to corruption, but highlighted the significance of having strong systems in place to mitigate it.
I always say that it's not about the individuals. Everybody can be corrupt in the world. It doesn't matter whether you are in the UK, whether in the US. Everybody has a tendency to be corrupt. One of the most important things is the systems that we have in place to check it. So if we have the systems in Nigeria, we are going to deal with this problem. So I assure you that we have the systems, we have the institutions. We only need to deliver on the mandate that is given to us.
The CCB, Nigeria's foremost anti-corruption agency, has the mandate in ensuring that public servants act with integrity and avoid conflict of interest. Sharon Ajay reporting for Global TV News.
Thank you, Sharon. The Federal Executive Council has scrapped the Niger Delta Ministry and Ministry of Sports Development. There will now be a Ministry of Regional Development to oversee all the regional development commissions, such as the Niger Delta Development Commission, Northwest Development Commission, Southwest Development Commission, Northeast Development Commission. The National Sports Commission will take over the role of the Ministry of Sports. The Council also approved the merger of the Ministry of Tourism with that of Culture and Creative Economy. The decisions were taken today at the meeting of the Federal Executive Council in Abuja. Elsewhere, Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has confronted residents of the Federal Capital Territory over accusations of illegal land acquisition during a heated visit to Lugbe area of the territory. The minister, in a video recorded by one of the residents during the confrontation and shared on social media, criticized residents who had protested against the recent demolition of properties in the area. Wike, who was surrounded by security personnel, scolded the resident for allegedly claiming land illegally. noting that the proper legal channel for disputes was the court. The residents, however, challenged Wike's claims, insisting they had documents proving their legal ownership of the land. The Socio-Economic Rights Accountability Project, SERAP, has urged Minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, to withdraw his threat to arrest beggars in the nation's capital of his legal action. The group, in a post on its official X handle, stated that no one should be criminalized for their socio-economic status, adding that the minister should instead provide opportunities to help them rebuild their lives and reintegrate into society. The minister had earlier threatened a crackdown on beggars during the flag-off ceremony for access road construction in the Kantape district of the Federal Capital Territory, as he announced that enforcement agents will start apprehending them from Monday. SERAP is, however, urging the minister to immediately address the socio-economic rights of marginalized individuals in the Federal Capital Territory. The Minister of State for Youth Development, Olawande Ayodele, says the federal government is more than ready to foster national solidarity and promote the development of youths in the country. The minister, in a statement signed by the president of the Nigerian Youths Union, NYU, Chinonso Obasi, made this known when a delegation of the union paid him a visit in his Abuja office and made their demands. According to Obasi, the youth delegation demanded the need to reorganize the Nigerian youth structure and reorient the Nigerian youth on the need for national cohesion. In his response, the minister reaffirmed the ministry's willingness to collaborate with the group in addressing the concerns raised. A 15-day ultimatum issued by the Academic Staff Union of Polytechnics, ASUP, to the federal government to meet its demands expires. More lecturers have endorsed the National Executive Council's position to mobilize its members to withdraw their services. The union's Zone D coordinator, Dr. Iloma Richard, speaking in Port Harcourt, says that the government has yet to address these continuous and contentious issues in the new guidelines, highlighting the alleged disregard for quality control in polytechnic education, which he warned that if allowed to persist, it would lead to the collapse of technical and vocational education in the country. The union had threatened to embark on strike should the government fail to address the contentious new scheme of service for polytechnic lecturers across the country. Ogun State government has urged residents of flooded areas and communities across the state to relocate immediately. Some of the communities affected by the recent release of water from Oyan Dam include Isheri, Riverview Estate, Oshoro Estate, Opik Estate, Arekbo, Mawere, Akote, Alagbole, Orimerumu, and Magboro, among others. The government urged residents in these areas to heed its earlier flood alert advisory to either relocate or renovate their homes during this time of year. Minister of Defense Mohammed Badaru has warned mischief makers seeking to instill fear in Nigerians to desist from doing so, saying that the armed forces will not tolerate such. Badaru gave this warning while delivering a keynote at the 3rd National Conference of the Forum of Former Deputy Governors of Nigeria in Abuja, themed Strategic Solutions for Good Governance, Food Security and Sustainable Growth in Nigeria. The minister, who was represented by his special advisor, Technical Ahmed Jibrin, said the armed forces will not relent in bringing all enemies of Nigeria to justice. He assured Nigerians of the armed forces' commitment to providing security in order to boost food security in the country. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo has blamed the disunity in the country as the reason behind the country's lack of achieving greatness. The former president disclosed this in Abeokuta, Ogun State capital, when he received the 20-member delegation of League of Northern Democrats, led by the former governor of Kano State, Ibrahim Shekarau. He said despite the uninspiring situation of things in the country at the moment, he remains an incurable optimist about things turning around for good for the country. Obasanjo also blamed regionalism as practiced before obtaining independence in October 1960 as the foundation of the country's prolonged lack of cohesion. President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, has urged the Senate to invite the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency and other relevant agencies to substantiate the drug-related allegations made against the Deputy Senate Leader, Yisa Ashiru. The agency, in a statement by a spokesperson, Femi Babafemi, had alleged that the senator's residence in Kwara was raided after intelligence revealed that it was being used as a drug joint. The agency had hit back at Ashiru after he accused it of being the most corrupt and compromised agency during last week's debate on the bill seeking to establish the National Institute for Drug Awareness and Rehabilitation. Speaking after a motion by Ashiru at plenary, Akpabio dismissed the NDLEA's claims, describing them as motivated by personal vendetta, just as the Senate constituted a 6-member ad hoc committee to probe the allegations. Traders in Singa Market of Kano State have called on the federal government to provide a permanent solution to the persistent increase in prices of food items across the country. Global Television's correspondent Idris Jibrin reports that despite the availability of food items in the market, prices have continued to increase at an alarming rate.
This is Singa Market in Kano, the largest commodity market in northern Nigeria. Food items by the truckloads arrive here on daily basis, and there are over 150,000 people trading in Singa Market daily.
It is a kind of market that, serves at least Kano and the environs, and even some neighboring countries, actually.
We have Zone 1, which covered Bellarot, Zone 2, which covered Kandoki, we have Zone 3, which covered Ado Bayero Road, we have Zone 4, which covered Bella Dandago, and also Yulawa, Zone 5, which covered Bata.
Despite the viability and availability of food items in this market, Traders Union says hundreds of their members have shut down their businesses due to continuous price increase in recent times.
We encountered multiple increase, and some items, even the prices of some items is even multiplied by 100% actually.
According to traders, increase in high cost of production, foreign exchange, poor government policies are some of the reasons responsible for the current economic hardship among Nigerians, leading to price increase virtually on daily basis.
Increase of forex, that's the dollar price. It is almost double from that period to date. Beside that one, there is an increment on the power also. So that's the second reason they are given. Beside that one, even the cost of labor, cost of protection, everything.
For most Nigerians, however, unless the current inflation is controlled, high cost of production and transportation are reduced, the future of Nigeria's economic sector may likely continue to remain bleak. From Kano, Idris Jibrin reporting for Global Television News.
Thank you so very much, Idris, for your reporting tonight. You're watching News Prime on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. When News Prime returns, World Health Organization says intense bombardment stops Gaza polio vaccinations. We'll let you in on that and bring you more stories after this break. Do stay with us. This is Global Television bringing you a live broadcast of News Prime with Uyi Agumofwebe. Thank you so very much for your time with us. In business, the International Monetary Fund, IMF, says Nigeria's currency, the Naira, is showing signs of stability. This, it says, is due to recent interest rate hikes and the clearing of foreign exchange backlogs by the Central Bank of Nigeria. The fund made this known during a press briefing in Washington, D.C. IMF's financial counselor and director of monetary and capital markets, Tobias Adrian, acknowledged the efforts of the CBN in controlling inflation and stabilizing the foreign exchange market. The federal government has withdrawn the money laundering charges against Binance Holdings Limited executive Tigran Gabaraya. Binance U.S. head of Financial Crime Compliance, Gabaraya, and the esteemed British Kaya Regional Manager for Africa, Nadim Ajawala, were facing money laundering charges to the tune of $35 million brought against them by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, and were both initially detained in the custody of the Office of the National Security Advisor. Anjarwalla, however, filed and fled lawful custody on March 22, 2024, while his counterpart, Gabaria, was arraigned in April. Following his arraignment, the court ordered his remand to Kuje Correctional Facility. The federal government says it has stopped the export of locally produced liquefied petroleum gas, also known as cooking gas, to prioritize domestic supply. Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Gas, Ekberikbe Ekbo, made the announcement saying the ban will begin November 1, 2024, as such measure is to tackle the high gas price in Nigeria. In a statement by the spokesman of the minister, Louis Iba, the decision was reached after the minister convened a high-level meeting in Abuja with stakeholders to address the skyrocketing price and its attendant hardship on citizens. And still in the petroleum sector, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has acquired equipment and other necessary items to set up an additional 40 compressed natural gas stations nationwide. The Program Director and Chief Executive Officer of the Presidential Compressed Natural Gas Initiative, Oluwagbemi Michael, disclosed this to newsmen in Ogun State, saying the NNPC had set up 12 CNG centers in the last 12 months, with 6 in Abuja and 6 in Lagos. The federal government is also planning to have about 100 CNG stations in the next 6 months. Northern Gaza had forced it to postpone the final phase of a child polio vaccination drive. UN Health Agency says the vaccination campaign was called off due to the escalating violence, intense bombardments, mass displacement orders, and lack of assured humanitarian pauses across most of northern Gaza. Although the necessary second round of vaccinations has been completed in central and southern Gaza and was to begin in the north, the WHO says it had been compelled to postpone the bid to give 119,279 children in northern Gaza a second vaccine dose. Israel launched a major air and ground assault in northern Gaza this month, vowing to stop Hamas militants from regrouping in the area. U.S. Defense Secretary John Haley says Trump's campaign have got this wrong. He says the campaigners are individual Labour Party members and that there is no organized deal on this, as they are all volunteers and they pay their way. He noted that this is Trump's campaign doing what campaigns do, creating controversy during an election, reiterating that they will work with whatever president the American people elect. A report said Donald Trump's campaign has accused the UK's Labour Party of blatant foreign interference in the complaints filed to the US Federal Election Commission. Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer has played down the significance of alleged interference by the Labour Party in the US presidential election. Keir, who met Trump last month, said the party staff going to the U.S. to campaign for Democratic candidate Kamala Harris were volunteers doing it in their spare time and staying with their volunteers. Meanwhile, the Environment Secretary Steve Reed says the Labour Party had not funded or organized their trips, just as Keir denied the role risked jeopardizing his relationship with Trump. King Charles has arrived in Samoa for a 4-day state visit where he will preside for the first time over a gathering of Commonwealth presidents and prime ministers. Prime Minister Flame Naomi Maftefa greeted the King and Queen Camilla at Falelio International Airport, where a red carpet had been rolled out amid high winds and last-minute vacuum cleaning. The Royal Samoan Police Band began playing as the couple alighted and met local officials. Let's turn to sport for you tonight. An 89th minute late goal saw the under-17 Nigerian women team, the Flamingos, beat host Dominican Republic in Santo Domingo in the ongoing 2024 FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup. Midfielder Shakira Moshood collected the ball from 25 yards and launched a powerful left-footed strike at goal, which went past the Dominican goalkeeper, marking her 4th in the tournament. The win is the Flamingos' 3rd consecutive as they emerged Group A leaders above Ecuador, host Dominican, and New Zealand. The Flamingos have been in blistering form in the South American nation, winning their first 2 games, scoring 8 goals and conceding just 1. Let's bring it closer to home for you. Super Eagles captain Ahmed Musa has been appointed sports ambassador for Kano State. The appointment was confirmed via a statement by Secretary to the State Government, Abdullahi Bafa Bichi. The statement says the decision to appoint him into the position of trust and confidence was predicated upon his professional competence, track record of excellent performance, vast experience, dedication to the development of sporting activities, and provision of humanitarian services in the state. Real Madrid duo Thibaut Courtois and Rodrigo are likely to miss the Clásico clash with La Liga leaders Barcelona on Saturday with injury problems. Madrid revealed in a statement that Courtois has been diagnosed with an adductor injury in his left leg, with Ukrainian stopper Andriy Lunin, his usual replacement, who had earlier stood in for him in the month after the Belgian suffered a minor hip injury. Meanwhile, Rodrigo appeared hurt during the final stages of the win over Dortmund, and Madrid coach Ancelotti says the winger had a muscular injury. Spanish media had reported that Rodrigo is poised to miss the game against the league leaders with a hamstring injury. As we end Global TV News Prime tonight, let's take a quick look at some of our top stories. President Bola Tinubu has sacked 5 ministers and appointed 7 others. In business, the International Monetary Fund (IMF) has said Naira showing signs of stability. On the foreign scene, the World Health Organization has announced that intense bombardment stopped Gaza polio vaccinations. And in sport, we told you Kano State has appointed Ahmed Musa as sports ambassador. And that's all for you tonight on News Prime, and it came to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. Just to remind you quickly that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365, Star Times 276, and free to air on Nightcomsat. We encourage you to follow us across all social media platforms using the handle at Global TVNG, as well as other handles now showing on your screen. I'm Uya Agumofwegbe saying a big thank you to you on behalf of the entire production team here at Global Television headquarters in Abuja, Nigeria's capital. We'll see you again.